Hi, and welcome to our first episode of Canine Conversations. So we are joined here today with Michele Turlip from Positive Play Dog Training.
Hi, everybody.
And what we'd love to do is you can get to know Michele. So Michele, tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, that's sort of a big request there. I am the owner and head trainer at Positive Play Dog Training. I'm a certified professional dog trainer. That means I have had training, I worked with other dog trainers, and I've also been tested on my dog training knowledge. And my background is in education. I've been teaching all of my life. I have a master's of education, and I have been in the classroom teaching for about 30 years. So that means high school, that means college classroom. It also means working with faculty development, or basically teaching teachers how to teach, which is a mouthful.
Yeah.
I actually got into dog training because my dog Ryder, whom you guys all know well, is a challenge. He's 9 now, but when he was a puppy.
And Ryder is a Doberman.
Ryder's a Doberman.
So very smart dog. So
very smart, lots of energy, and he was not the typical Doberman. So he literally would do a sit or a down and then would look at me and say, okay, I'm bored. And that meant that I needed to find a new way to train. I couldn't train just basic obedience with him because he didn't want to do it, which was very atypical Doberman. So I started learning game-based training. And that doesn't mean I don't do typical obedience training with sit, down, stay, wait, all of those characteristics of basic dog training. But I also incorporate a lot of games. I think training should be fun for you and for the dog. And I think it should be a learning experience for both of you. I think that you need to have a partnership. I think that you need to develop your relationship. I think your dog needs to want to work with you and not be forced into doing everything. If you make it fun for you and your dog is going to enjoy the experience.
More positive experience, just like you said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's sort of my background when it comes to dog training and where I am as a dog trainer.
So what type of training do you do? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? How do you move forward with your training?
I actually do one-on-one private training. I had talked about the idea and about doing groups, but I think I prefer one-on-one because I do a lot of problem solving. I work with people who have dogs that have fear issues. I work with people that have dogs that have been shut down. I work with a lot of rescue dogs that just need some kindness and some understanding. And I teach parents about everything from body language and understanding their dog to how to engage their dog and make a partnership.
Great. Now, people get a new puppy. What is one of the first things we always say is you need to have a good training.
Yes.
You need to have a good trainer.
Yes.
So if people are looking for a trainer, what's your first suggestion that you offer them when it comes to a new puppy?
A new puppy? Well, basically, I try to set new puppy owners up for success. So as a trainer, I would like to see you before you get your new puppy, not after, so that I can have you ready to start out on the right foot right away. So the sooner the better when it comes to training, as long as your dog has had their vaccines. As a new puppy owner, one of the best things I can tell you is to reward any behavior that you like. Because if I gave you $10 for everything that you did that I liked, you would actually do it again. And believe it or not, it works with dogs as well.
So one of the questions that we get at the Natural Pet too is being a positive trainer. There is no shock collar involved.
No, no.
So that's one of the main things we like to point out, that you are a positive dog trainer and you give them the skills so they will never need that.
Yes.
Yes. So, that's one of the things I think we get as a question here. And I think it's what's so beneficial with the type of training that Michele does is that she gives you the skills that you need to handle the situations that you might feel have been difficult and needed to be handled another way. But once you have the skills, you can have a more positive outcome.
Right. And that feeds into my thought process of training for the situation, not in the situation.
Excellent.
Because if I'm in the situation, all I'm doing is reacting and trying to get out of there. If I'm training for the situation, basically what I'm doing is I'm giving the dog and you skills in order to prepare your dog and get out of the situation with the fewest problems possible. Meaning, if you are in sports, or if you play piano, or if you are in theater, you always go to practice. So you practice for the sport. You practice all types of calls. You practice all types of skills in the theater. You practice all types of scales, because when the situation happens, when the performance or the game happens, you want to just slide on into what you know and do it. And I want your dog to slide on into their skills and do it, rather than you freezing and your dog just reacting.
That's great. I think that really one of the questions that we get here at the Natural Pet, but as well as maybe you get as well, what's the number one thing people come to you for?
Oh, jumping, biting, and just, basic training skills, polite greetings. And all of those things can be worked on through one of the highlights of my training, which is prevention. If you prevent that from happening, it's not going to happen.
I think that's great. Can you give me an example of a challenging case that you may have had that sometimes people feel like it's too much? But, a challenging case that you feel, you said with Ryder, which I think is great, but him being your own dog, but maybe a challenging case that you felt that you really, really became a success story with.
There was a lovely golden retriever, and she came in and she was completely shut down. She would not interact with her owners, her people, her pet people. She would not get into the car. She would not go out of the door. She would not go for a walk. She would not go out of the garage. Completely shut down. And brings tears to my eyes. I've never been so proud as when her pet people actually sent me a video of her walking down the street past other dogs and cars, and she was able to handle that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I think that's great, because there's, people feel like they want to throw their hands up and give up. But it's with just teaching and learning the skills, guidance, you can have success.
Yes.
So I think that's great, and we know personally just what a fine job you do. So we're definitely, Michele is our highest recommendation that we have for dog training, and we're thrilled to be able to have these canine conversations. And so our pet owners and our pet parents, I should say, have the recommendation of such an excellent trainer.
Thank you.
So let's just say that we're going to have another conversation. So stay tuned for Canine Conversations, our episode 2. We're look forward to us. Follow us on YouTube and on your Facebook channel.
And I want to thank Chris for having me here. And I also want to thank them for just diving into this idea and wanting to share little training tips, as well as making it something that's fun and functional.